Want your ex back? Say this to her. One wrong move and you might push her even further away. But if you say this, you just might reignite everything. And here's the catch. It only works if you truly understand what went wrong in the first place. Jessica OS here, welcome to the channel. Setting the stage, why most apologies fail. Let's be honest. The moment you think about reaching out to your ex, your first instinct is probably to apologize. But here's where most guys go wrong. They assume that an apology alone will do the trick. Let me tell you fellas, women are smarter than that. Apologies are expected. They're easy. Anyone can say, I'm sorry. What she's really thinking is, what have you learned? I mean, think about it. If you say, I'm sorry I messed up, it's like handing her a band-aid for a wound that's still bleeding. It's surface level, and you're not actually addressing the deeper issue. What she's waiting for is something real, something that proves that you actually get what you did wrong. Guys, saying the right words matter, but it's not the only thing. She's also looking for actions, reflection, and she wants to know that you understand her pain and perspective. And trust me, she's already heard it all before. An apology alone doesn't make her believe that you've changed. She needs to see that you've taken time to figure out what went wrong and, more importantly, how you're going to fix it going forward. Let me give it to you straight. If you lead with an apology, you're already playing catch up. Why? Because an apology puts the focus on you. It's you trying to make yourself feel better, hoping that she'll forgive you and forget. But that's not how it works. Women want to feel seen and heard. They want to know you truly understand their frustrations. Most men think that if they just show up with the I'm sorry card, she'll magically take them back. And you're wrong. She's already been through that emotional roller coaster. And if you keep repeating the same mistakes, she'll start believing that you'll never change. So what's the alternative? You need to break that cycle. Apologies are just the beginning, but they can't be the end. You've got to make her see that you've not only understood her reasons for leaving, but that you've actually worked on improving yourself. That's the hook. The moment she sees growth, curiosity will kick in. She'll start wondering, could it really be different this time? And that curiosity, fellas, is what will get her to start thinking about you again. Not the apology, not the flowers. It's the realization that maybe, just maybe, you've changed. And when that happens, that's when the door opens just a crack, but you've got to get that part right. Part 2, the perfect line, what to say. The exact thing to say that will make her stop dead in her tracks. Listen closely, because this isn't just some random line, it's strategic and it's designed to hit her where it matters the most in her emotions. You want her to feel like maybe, just maybe, she walked away from something that could have worked. So here is what you say. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and you were right about so many things. I see it now. I'm not asking for another chance. I'm asking for a clean slate, and I'm ready to hear you out. Really hear you. Not the basic apology, not a desperate plea. With this line, you're telling her that you finally get it. You've been reflecting on her words, and now you're ready to truly hear what she has to say. Not only that, but you're offering a clean slate. You're removing the baggage of the past, right? You're not dragging all the mistakes and arguments and misunderstandings into this new chapter. You're starting afresh. Now, let me break this sentence down a little bit more. You see, the mistake most guys make when trying to win back their ex is that they focus on themselves, right? You say, I'm sorry for what I did. I'll be better. I need you back. It's all me, 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 me. And that's exactly why it doesn't work. But with this line I just gave you, I'm not asking for another chance, I'm asking for a clean slate, and I'm ready to hear you out. You flip the script. The line is genius because it's about her. It's not about what you want, it's about showing her that you finally understand what she wants. She doesn't want to hear you beg. She doesn't want to hear you promise the moon and the stars. She wants to feel understood. She wants to feel validated. And here's the key, she wants to know that you've done some real soul searching. When you acknowledge that she was right about certain things, you immediately lower her defenses. Why? Because most guys refuse to admit fault. They want to argue their point, justify their behavior, or worse, just downplay her feelings. But the moment you say you were right, she feels like you've taken the time to reflect, to process the relationship. And get this, you've grown. And that's where things get interesting. See, growth is what she's after. If you're the same guy who made her walk away, why will she come back? She's not interested in repeating the past. She's interested in something better. Now, this line will show her that maybe, just maybe, you've evolved into the kind of man that she thought she was dating in the first place. Also, when you say, I'm not asking for another chance, I'm asking for a clean slate, you're taking the pressure off. You're telling her that, look, I respect your decision, I understand why you left, and I'm not going to force my way back in. That's a big deal. It puts you in control because you're showing her that you don't need her. You're giving her the choice to decide if she wants to give it another shot, but you're not desperate. And that, guys, is where the real magic happens. When you remove the pressure, it creates that curiosity. She'll start thinking, has he really changed? Is he serious about this clean slate? And once that curiosity is sparked, it's hard for her to ignore. She'll replay your words in her head, wondering if this new version of you is worth giving another shot. And when you tell her, I'm ready to hear you out, really hear you, you're speaking directly to something that she's probably never felt in the relationship before: true understanding. Think about it. How many arguments happened because she didn't feel heard? How many times did she walk away because you didn't listen? By offering to hear her out, you're addressing one of the biggest frustrations women have in relationships. It's not just about hearing her words, though, right? It's about listening to her feelings. Women want to be understood emotionally, not just logically. By telling her you're ready to really listen, you're showing emotional intelligence, which will serve you right. You're telling her that this isn't about winning her back through smooth talk. You want to build something real from the ground up. You're offering her something that feels like a choice, not an ultimatum. You're not begging her to come back. You're giving her the option to restart, but on new terms, right? She's in control, and women love feeling like they have control over their decisions, especially when it comes to relationships. That's what makes the line so powerful. Women are incredibly intuitive. They'll sense whether your words are genuine or not. This is why it's critical that when you say this, you mean it. If you're just using the words as a trick or a quick fix, it will backfire. But if you're genuinely reflecting on the relationship and are ready to make real changes, she'll feel that sincerely. And that's when she'll start to consider that maybe, just maybe, things could be different this time. Guys, at the end of the day, it's not about what you say, it's about what you're willing to do. This line works because it's backed by the promise of action, of growth, and real change. You're showing her that you're not the same person that she walked away from, and that is where you win. I'll be wrapping up this video shortly, but first let me address what to do after you say this, because it's equally important. Cool, so you've said those magic words, you've hit her with that line, and now you're waiting for fireworks, right? But here's the thing, you're not done yet. In fact, saying that line is just the beginning. What you do after saying it is critical. This is where most guys mess up big time. And trust me, if you get this part wrong, all the progress you made will come crashing down. Here's the deal. You can't just say the line and then go back to being the same old guy that she walked away from, right? This isn't a magic spell that instantly makes her come running back. After you drop that line, you've got to play it cool. This is where your patience and self-control will come to play. Look, I get it. You're tempted to check your phone every 5 minutes, wondering if, she's going to respond or why she hasn't responded yet. But if you start blowing up her phone, asking if she saw your message or pushing for a reply, you're going to push her away even more. And that's a surefire way to show her that nothing has really changed. You'll come off as needy, and that's the last thing you want to do. Here's what you need to do instead, okay? Hear me well. Give her space. That's right. Back off. Let the process what you started just take its course. Women need time to think and feel things out. When you drop that line about a clean slate and really hearing her out, it's going to hit her differently than anything else you've ever said before. But she'll need time to let it sink in. Trust me, fellas, the power of silence after that line is real. She's going to start wondering, why isn't he chasing me like before? Why is he suddenly giving me space? Has he really changed? And that's when her curiosity will start to work in your favor. Remember, she's used to guys trying to win her back with constant texts and calls and apologies. So when you step back after delivering that line, you're showing her something different. You're showing her that you've matured. You're showing her that you're not desperate. And that shift in energy is going to make her look at you in a whole different light. And here's the secret. The longer you give her space to process, the more she'll start to miss you. She'll begin thinking about your growth, about the possibility of a clean slate, and she'll be intrigued by this new you. If she's still into you, just even a little bit, this is where she'll start to reach out. And here's where it'll get tricky. When she does reach out, don't immediately jump back into the old patterns. Don't try to pick up from where you left off. And for the love of everything, don't start getting emotional. Keep it cool, keep it casual. Let her come to you. When she sends that first text or makes that first call, be consistent with the new version of yourself. When she reaches out, respond, but don't overdo it. Stay composed. Show her that you've changed. Don't make her feel like you're trying too hard. Keep that conversation light. And if she wants to meet up or talk things out, let her be the one to suggest it. Remember, it's not a race, it's a marathon. It's a slow, deliberate process that gives her the space to decide if she's ready to give things another shot. And remember, you're not trying to convince her with words anymore at this point. It's all about actions. If you say you've changed, you've got to show her that. And don't forget, fellas, this isn't just about saying the right things or acting cool for a few days. If you really want her back, this has to be a long-term shift in how you approach the relationship. She won't be fooled by temporary changes. She's going to be watching closely, looking for consistency. And if you say you're going to give her a clean slate, you need to mean it and live it. What does all this mean for you? You've said the right words, you've given her space, you've shown real change. Now, the biggest challenge is staying consistent, because here's the truth. Most likely she's been through this before. She's heard apologies, she's heard promises, she's been let down. So what makes this any different? You've got to understand something. This isn't just about getting her back. You must show her that you've become someone better, someone she can trust again. If you've genuinely grown, if you've truly reflected on the mistakes you made, then you're already on the right track. But here's where many guys screw up. They think once she responds, it's smooth sailing from there. Let me tell you, it's actually not. Because this is where you've got to keep your head in the game, because she's watching you closely. Every little thing you do now matters. Your consistency is going to determine whether or not she believes in this new version of you. She's going to be testing you consciously or unconsciously to see if you're really the guy who you claim to be. And if you slip up, or if you go back to your old ways, she'll see right through you and you'll lose her all over again. The hard truth is, the moment she senses that you're trying to get her back without actually changing, that door is going to slam in your face. But if she sees you're serious about the clean slate, that you're giving her the space that she needs, that you're not pushing for instant results, and that you're constantly showing up as the man she deserves, then you've got a real shot at rebuilding something. Now, what if she doesn't come back right away? What if she takes longer to respond than you expected? Or she's hesitant to believe in this new version of you? Here's the thing. Patience is your greatest weapon. Don't rush it. Don't panic. Women need time to process their emotions. If she's worth it, you'll wait. And while you're waiting, you'll continue to work on yourself. This is not just about winning her back. It's about becoming a man who doesn't need to chase because he's confident in his own growth. So what's the key takeaway? It's simple. Real growth takes time. And women are attracted to men who are patient, composed, and confident. When you tell her, I'm asking for a clean slate, and you back it up with consistent actions, that's when you become irresistible. Because here's a secret most guys don't realize. Women are drawn to men who evolve and who don't stay stuck in the same old patterns. She doesn't want the guy she left behind. She wants the guy who's learned and grown from the experience. Guys, this is your game to win, but only if you play it smart. Say the right thing, give her space, stay consistent, and prove that you've really grown. Good luck, and remember, you've got this.